games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear promises. You do you.
Yes, what's good, everybody? So I've got quite a bit to talk about. Phillips has started for England. Second half's just kicked off now while I speak. A bit of an underwhelming half, not on Phillips' behalf, it's just a bit shit. But Kane scored 1-0. But I had to talk about England because I don't really care at the moment. I will jump on the bandwagon for the Euros, but up until then, I am all about Leeds. Bit of good shit news, quick shit vid. Dembele watches every single game apparently for Leeds, so you might have seen this has been floating about this story. Bamford's been saying Dembele, for anybody that doesn't know, plays for Barcelona, and to be fair, he's been a bit of a flop. Like, his end product's not very good, but you'd have him, wouldn't you? So I reckon we should ship him over on a loan deal for next season. Yeah, apparently he loves Leeds, watching every single game, and Meslier with the silent S, he's friends with him because obviously they're both French, so that's the link. So Meslier asked with the silent S, asked him to get Bamford and Phillips' shirt, so that is what he's done. And Bamford apparently were like, what, why? And then he totally explained it to him, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, so that's that story. The silent S for Meslier has come from Mr. P, who has kindly pointed out to me that apparently the S is silent. So I've sort of toyed with saying Meslier and not pronouncing the S, but then I thought, no, stay true to yourself, Jack, but just credit Mr. P and just say apparently with a silent S, like he told me. So it's still Meslier, apparently with a silent S. But speaking of Meslier, apparently with a silent S, PSG are now interested in him. Pochettino's apparently said that, you know, that he's looking at him, which is a bit of a worry, because obviously when it was Marseille the other day, I thought, you know, not much in that really. Marseille in a bit of trouble and stuff. But PSG, obviously the biggest club, well, in French football, but one of the biggest clubs in the Champions League as well. But I think that's a far cry at the minute. I think it's a bit of a stretch. So I'm hopeful that that's a load of shit. But if it ain't a bit of shit, he might be looking at him. You would imagine, like I said the other day, there's going to be people looking at him. But I did that all other day. I don't need to go back over it. Just his market value. You buy him cheap now, and his market value would go up, but only if he plays first team football. And if he stays with us a couple more years, he's guaranteed football. But I won't yap on about that. Dallas has got a bit of shit because he played really poorly against Italy. I think it was in internationals. They lost 2-0 and he made a couple of mistakes. He's not a left back, is he? In fairness to Dallas, like, you know, and he gets played left back because he's a utility man. But it, you know, when there's a mistake happens, it's like, oh, but it's not really a fair characterisation of him when he's not a left back. I know he plays left back, but that's because he's good in many positions. That's more. Sometimes you can be at fault for being versatile. If you're not versatile and you're in the starting lineup, you have to play, you know, where your position is. But when you are versatile and we're weak somewhere, you are a mint centre midfielder, say, but you can play left back better than the current left back, so you end up playing left back. So it's not really a fair. It happened to Milner a lot and still does. It happened to Milner at Man City, to be fair. He was playing absolutely everywhere, and I think he always wanted to play centre mid, but never really ever played centre mid. So, but he's also in the Liverpool side. He'd have never got in the side if he were playing centre mid. But that is not what this video is about. Not sure what this video is about, to be fair. The Rodrigo thing's still circulating that he's unhappy, but apparently it's said that he's been unhappy with his position, but I think that's bollocks, because he's never really put. There's this conception of him that he's a centre forward, like an out and out centre forward, but he hasn't really played centre forward anywhere that he's been. He did for Valencia towards the end, but only when they were in absolute turmoil, and he was actually like a right winger that sort of cut in onto his left. So I don't really know. I think that's poor at best, really, coming up with that. There is a chance that the more it circulates, the more you start to think it, you know, it could be a reality. There's a few people commented yesterday or today, which is totally cool. I appreciate everybody that's commenting, but saying that, you know, they'd be happy to ship him out. But I think he's played four 90 minutes for us all season. 4 games he's done 90 minutes. That is not enough to write a player off like that. He is a Spanish international, and I've just got to say, I think you've got to be careful. I'm not on about my commenters here. I just mean in general. You've got to be careful of who you want out and who you want in. You don't know it's going to work, number one. You can ship someone out that just needs a little bit of time. I agree he needs to hit the ground running now. And he has to really push on towards end of season and let him start with a bang next year, and he has to do that. Or at the end of next year, I agree, you look to offload him. But now I just think it's too quick. You've got to imagine nobody's really calling for Llorente to go. Now I know former Sicknote, has played really well since he's come in, but he has been a hindrance all season, really. You know, coming on for 2 minutes against, we're at Newcastle, and then getting hauled off. It's not, that ain't good, is it? So, yeah. Some good news about the young lads as well, which is mint. That's why I'm not worried about a striker in market, really. Greenwood and Gelhardt both scored for England under-19s. They were playing Arsenal under-23s, like. But for some reason, it doesn't sound like an international game. But I suppose I'd rather watch that than Albania. Or San Marino. But yeah, so that's good. They're just mint. But it does bring up a bit of a question mark. I've seen it. Hopefully it's just a bit of lazy journalism. But Gelhardt apparently is going to be putting on quite a bit of pressure to get him first team, or he's going to look to get going. But he is only a young lad. He's not going to get in over Bamford yet. But if we don't sign a striker, there's no reason why him and Greenwood can't be in and around Bamford, I don't think. They're just going to have to wait the time out. And I don't hope Bamford gets an injury. But they need to. Do you know what I mean? Like, and just take that opportunity when they get it. And I hope they're full of beans, because they seem to be. But it's a big step up. So, yeah. Ayling's said some really nice, kind words about Ben White as well. What are you saying on Ben White? Would you take him? Because his market value I don't know why I keep saying market value, but that's basically what it is. But I am not in the market, so it's not really my market. It's not a value to my market. Never mind, you know what I'm saying. Talking shit. He's just been right nice about him. I think we're pretty strong there now, though. If Llorente, former Sicknote, can stay unsick, then him, Koch, Pascal and Cooper, and for all the Cooper haters, he's minting and around that. In as a four like that as centre-backs, you can't argue with that. It's more backup than Liverpool have got, because we've seen what's happened to them since they lost a couple. So, yeah, that's my quick shit vid. So there's quite a lot going on at the moment. It's been quite fun, really, because I thought with it being international break, it's going to be an absolute bag of dross, but there's been all sorts floating about. So, because we are coming towards the end of the season, really. Month for Death. I'm going to do a video on Month for Death, like how many points you reckon we can get and stuff. But yeah, so I'll drop in tomorrow. Let us know what you think in comments. And genuinely, shout out to all my subscribers and commenters and that. I can't believe my channel's gone ding. So, and I proper appreciate you all, because I've genuinely only started this channel because we won't go into games and stuff, and I was just, well, to be honest, bored, and I just thought I'm always in the studio, and I just thought I've got some free time, I'll do this channel. So yeah, I love Leeds, and everybody that comments seems to love Leeds, so I'm loving it. So I'll probably carry it on. So nice one, take it easy.
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is. Don't wanna ever feel surprised. That's why I ask no.